Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. Nearly 3 crore people vanish from the voter list of India's largest state, not overnight, not quietly, but through an official government process. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is happening in Uttar Pradesh. According to the Election Commission's draft electoral roll, released after a special intensive revision, a staggering 2.89 crore voters have been removed from the rolls. Let that number sink in. That's more than the population of many countries. Now here's where it gets disturbing. Out of these removals, over 46 lakh names belong to people who are officially recorded as dead, yet they were still listed as eligible voters until now. Dead citizens. Alive on paper. Voting, at least in theory. Another 2.17 crore names were removed because the people had permanently shifted from their registered addresses. Cities changed. Villages emptied. Lives moved on, but the voter lists didn't. And then there are the duplicates. Around 25 lakh voters were registered more than once, sometimes in multiple constituencies. One person, multiple votes. Again, not an allegation, an official finding. This massive cleanup came after election officials went door-to-door for enumeration. But here's the catch. Only about 81% of people filled out the required forms. That leaves nearly 1 in 5 voters unaccounted for, missing, unreachable, or undocumented. And in an exercise this large, that gap matters. Because if your name is missing from the draft list, you don't vote, unless you notice it in time, file a claim, and get it corrected before the final roll is published. The Election Commission says this is about accuracy. About removing fake, duplicate, and outdated entries. About protecting the integrity of elections. Opposition parties, however, are sounding the alarm. They argue that such a massive revision, done under tight timelines in a state as vast and complex as Uttar Pradesh, risks silencing genuine voters along with the dead and the duplicates. The final electoral roll will be published in March 2026. Until then, the window for objections remains open. But the larger question lingers. How many elections were fought with bloated rolls? How many votes were cast in the names of people who no longer exist? And how many living citizens might now discover, too late, that their name has quietly disappeared? This is not just an administrative update. This is a reminder that democracy doesn't only depend on ballots and booths, it depends on lists. On paperwork, on whether your name exists where it matters most. In Uttar Pradesh, that list has just been rewritten, and the consequences will echo far beyond a single election.